used to this.
Huh?
Oh, pulled up a bit of a, pulled up one of the mods. I'm assuming, though it must be, though it must be one of those information type of deals.
Oh, which mod? Oh,
Uh,
you're sharing.
yeah.
Oh, oh yeah, JEI. I hold on. Let's hold on. Controls. Yeah, it helps like with crafting recipes for like some of the newer stuff, but I think you can just I close it with Control O.
As usual, back to square one. Let's see if I can. Okay, that's a bit weird.
Huh. Server desync. It's a full bet on my side.
Huh.
Yeah, let me yeah, just let me
I can't help but. I can't help but take a guess what this skin is.
I wonder what it could be. And yes, this server does have set home and teleport to home commands. And, spawn. Just gonna set up farm.
Okay, now the question is, am I headed in the right direction? Why not?
Also, J is for to bring up the full screen map, and B is to make a way not waypoint, but a to set a marker on the map at your current location. Should help in navigating. Oh, time for new pick.
Some good. I'm not sure how much.
Huh?
God, why does it keep freezing?
Huh.
Come on, I'd really love to get to it. Village, at one point.
What?
Are a big lost, Alex.
Oh.
Oh, I also added a mod that adds netherite. So we do have a bit of 1.16 in this mod pack.
I should. Where is it?
Okay, definitely gonna need more dirt.
Guess I'm close right here for now. So what does it freeze on me as activity starts to pick up? If it starts to pick up.
Like new wars.
Just the netherite. Like I said, my intention was to make this a vanilla plus mod for the most part.
What are there any new buildings or objects or anything that?
I did add one of the mods should add some dungeon generate some structure generation in the form of like explorable dungeons.
Uh,
Okay. Okay. Carrots,
Carrot.
mustard seed, strawberry, lettuce, tomato, garlic, bunch of squash, nut, nutmeg. Okay, not nutmeg, that's a tree. Juniper, juniper berries, leek, zucchini, cabbage, whatever that is. That's another tree. Yay! Tea leaf, cotton, rutabaga, radish,
Okay. So that's where they went.
pineapple, garlic. That's a tree. That's a tree.
They think hold.
Did I get scallion? I didn't get scallion. Okay, I can't use that one yet. Oh, perfect, lemons.
If I must.
Pine nuts. Huh. Oh, right, that tree. If that's over there, then... I'll set off in this direction. Ooh, a chest. Was that a drowned? Door, an emerald. Whoa! Nope. Got my emerald, I am out of there. Now I just need some purple flowers and I'm on my way to making a waystone. Has rowing a boat always made this sound, or is that new? Ooh. Hello, sugarcane. Don't mind if I do. And big. A soybean, taro, grape, and arrow fruit. Oh, arrow root.
Energy.
Ooh, durian. Dragon fruit. Mark that for later.
Come on.
Hmm? What's going on?
Come on. What the
Hmm.
Yes, I know flames are around, but that's not what I was doing before I lost connection.
That that's weird. Huh. Okay. I work that out. Also, time set
This is not what I think it is.
day. Let's see if I make you an op. If that works. And it rains. Now, if I can just connect to the desktop. Connect to the desktop.
Hello, welcome to Yoda Soda Creations, a podcast. Girlfriends who are trying to visit stuck in weeks to go to recent. Apologize for some technical difficulties. You may have seen some of it. Thankfully, beforehand, we ran into this problem, but new server. Still trying to work out the kinks of it, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, right. How do I make someone an op?
So Nate, if you're still there.
Hello.
Did you get the news bits from last week?
Nope.
It should have been on the
I can look at it later. It's fine.
DM that's only between the both of us.
I can look at it in a sec. Yeah.
Okay, you've been made op. So hopefully it works now. But yeah, it's I figured out the problem of why people can connect to the server. Now we're just working out various bugs.
Mm-hmm.
It's a work in progress. Actually, funny thing is, downloaded the latest version of Forge. Hour later, they upload a new version.
Yep. Whenever it darkens like that, I should always expect trouble.
Hold on, let me check something. Minecraft server.
So Nate, do you see the news notes from last week?
Yeah, I can see him.
Anything worth commenting on, at least from you?
Not really at the moment. Mm, uh, mm, yeah, not really. I could add something.
Nothing moves you, not even the Toucan Sam redesign response.
Nah. Doesn't really affect me that much. Is it on Twitter where it's the responses being taken usually?
It's
Okay.
a lot of places. Probably one of the most
Yeah.
notable, one of the most notable ones that might interest you was that looks like a Gumball character.
Oh,
Okay, so just need to stop the server for a moment. Because I changed the config file to allow flight. Hopefully doesn't just mean that everyone can just fly all willy-nilly, but like, we'll see. And server launcher.
Anyway, the crossover figures that I mentioned last week were also included Power Rangers and Transformers.
ah,
Those were the ones that caught my attention, at least from the article I found.
I know there's the I forgot his name, but the guy that played the clone troopers in the Clone Wars, Attack of the Clones, and also played Jango Fett, is reprising his role for Mandalorian. So most people think that might hint at a Boba Fett reference. Because,
Right.
I mean, he could obviously play Boba Fett real easily.
Yes.
He is older now, so I don't know. He still looks pretty good. He's aged pretty well, so he could do it
Okay, should
pretty
be
well.
up now.
That's you can't see it, but you can't see it, but it's one of those.
Okay, now that's good. Okay. Cool. Do daylight cycle. True. But yeah, it kind
So
of felt like a slow news week.
yeah, other than yeah, guess it could be
Hang on,
yeah,
I'm trying to.
and
Come on, get out of it. Come on, roll smoothly.
Oh, and it rains again. Hey. Ooh, iron.
I don't know why, but it keeps occasionally freezing.
Huh. Weird.
Huh.
Did you allocate some extra RAM? Oh, spider.
The thing is, I could. Well, the thing is, when I tried to adjust the argument, I wasn't. Well, the thing is, when I tried to adjust the argument, it wasn't. It, well, thing is, when I tried to adjust the argument, it was crashing.
Oh, weird.
And
Oh, those are skeletons.
so now I'm actually, so now I'm, so now I'm actually doing a lot better. Well, sort of. It's freezing, but I'm connect. It's freezing, but I can. It's freezing, but I'm in the server now.
Right.
So I have no idea. So I have no exact. So I have no exact idea of what you're talking about in terms of RAM. Other
Right.
than
Hold up. I put the thing on my end, so I can give a little example.
Ah.
Okay, turn on screen share, Minecraft launcher. Okay, over in the installations thing, go over to the edit, more options. Now down here you have the JVM arguments.
yeah, when
Now you have the
when I originally adjusted that, it wasn't loading. It was when I originally adjusted that, it was crashing. So I didn't. So I ended up resetting it, and then somehow did the job. Well, in terms of connection, at least.
right. Well, that's something we can tinker around with later. With my example, I went overkill and I'm allocating 10 gigs of RAM to it. Like,
Oh.
more than what's needed.
Let's see if I can try something.
Yeah, maybe if there's a thing tomorrow afterward, or it's I can troubleshoot you through it, you know? It's like, I might not be an expert, but I try my best.
Anyway, I wasn't. Anyway, it's not necessarily it's not necessarily a slow news day. It's just that with with game streams, some things take a bit longer to get to.
Yeah. No, I didn't mean that that the our thing was going slow. I just meant it seems like in general, not much has really happened this week.
Mm.
Then again, no. Then again, maybe that's a good thing. It's like,
As well, I suppose for us, I suppose for us, I suppose you're talking about us. Anyway, seems Owego has created a fashion line for ponies.
Huh. Must have missed that.
Word from Mission Impossible 7 and 8 director. Haley Atwell's mystery character is a destructive force of nature. In quotes.
I can't believe there's that many of those.
For what I've seen, it's a Japanese thing, but something called the Voice Actress Unit Sapphire has opened a YouTube channel recently.
Huh.
Gargoyle's creator wants to team up with Jordan Peele for a live-action movie,
Ah,
so that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
You thought Scoob reactions were bad? Apparently, the original live-action actor for Shaggy is not pleased with it.
Yeah, I heard you actually wanted to voice Shaggy.
That could be it. Well, apparently the Snyder Cut for Justice League is coming ahead, planned for an HBO airing 2021. Apparently, also had
Yep.
apparently also had plans for apparently also had plans for Supergirl because seeds were planted in Man of Steel.
Hmm.
Dave Ayer of Suicide Squad fame drops Chucker tease shortly afterwards.
Better get going.
Seems our old friend Ian Handlin has been rostered to play Mr. Magoo. That'll be interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
And that video I mentioned about Toucan Sam redesign. Well, it had a follow up where highlighting some of the some fan artist interpretations of it.
Oh boy.
Kind of expect
That's
kind of expected that after the whole Sonic fiasco.
yeah.
There was a first look released this week of what I remember was a Cuphead series.
Interesting. Was that second ship? No. It was just a hill underwater that looked like a ship. Isn't that always how it is?
Anyone remember when We Bear Bears was a bit of a talk? Yeah, that's getting a movie.
Yeah, I remember when that used to be a thing.
I remember that that happened.
There's some talk about Jurassic World Dominion. Apparently, the producer says it's the start of a new era and it's a new world. Dinosaurs on the mainland. So that's where they talk, but nothing too major by the sounds of it. Seems the James Cameron Avatar sequel resumes filming next week, though I expect cautiously.
Yeah. Avatar, like, that's the thing that's supposed to be like, oh, yeah, we're totally gonna make another one. Eventually.
Yeah.
Time passes. I know that Independence Day took a while to get its sequel.
True. Ooh. Glacier biome.
Spawn's producer Jason Blum teases seismic event for production. Whatever.
Well, it's a polar bear.
Polar bear. I can't see any of the screens, by the way, if you're sharing.
Oh, hold on. Let me.
Let's see if that did the trick. I wouldn't be too surprised if it messes something up.
Ooh, now that is a ship.
Well, Nate, I don't know if you know this, but apparently a recent report from Nintendo has bad news for Switch owners.
Frick.
What's the bad news?
Yeah, so
As someone who is a Switch owner,
what?
I would like to know. Ooh, lapis. Ooh, supply ship chest.
That's another thing that's wrong. That's another thing that's wrong whilst I'm investigating. Quote, not only is Nintendo not planning a direct to replace the Thunderbolt E3 Direct in June, but apparently it isn't planning any Direct at all. It may not release one until September at earliest. Sounds about.
So basically, it's gonna be a slow news summer as far as Nintendo stuff goes. Then.
It's kind of weird. You'd think they'd kind of capitalize on everyone being home. I mean, Switches are like impossible to find right now. I know because I tried.
I was about to say it sounds like it's related to the lockdown. Fact alleges is going as far as to tell its online partners to not wait or hold out for a direct, even if it's a big announcement. Suggests the company really has no idea when the video show will return. Yeah, so it looks like it's just a delay. Gosh, don't do this. Not sure if I mentioned this while the stream was running, but I'm pretty sure a lot of us are trying to get used to Eclipse.
Oh.
On DeviantArt.
Oh. I don't really
Dark?
go there that much.
I don't mind it.
I'm also in the giving it. I'm also in the giving a chance side of things. Although I'm not as obsessed. Although I'm not as obsessed as I was when Twilight got her rings, which I liked. Which I tend to compare the reactions. The only difference, of course, being that I was more obsessed with that as opposed to this. And while I'm not as obsessed, I'm not opposed either. But yeah, it'll take some getting used to.
Jungle Log.
And
Finally.
Finally, the casualty report for this week, and again things are going to vary. Although this last case is an interesting one. Gene Casey, Martin Cohen, and wrestler Hannah Kimura, who was apparently bullied into suicide. Ugh, darn it. When will the people learn?
Artists have trouble with that usually. It's very common. Not to degrade it or something, but it's been, yeah. Veins.
Interesting call for a cow.
Okay, I think I might wait out the night in the water. Probably safer here.
Darn it. Gonna have to give it a shit.
Cats, you just keep joining at night.
Oh yeah, I also got the W something updates. And apparently lily pads are not a treasure item anymore. At least in the
Oh,
latest screenshot.
That makes sense, kind of. Seeing as they aren't the most, like, you wouldn't think they would be that important.
ooh, that's nice and bright down
And
there.
it'll make them easier to get with auto farms, even the crap ones now.
Right.
Whoa, bro.
Okay, I heard clink clanking of bones. Nope. But that is a point of interest. Ah, my inventory's full.
Oh, oh shoot.
Ooh, I did get a jungle sapling. Oh, thank God. Okay, after I explore that thing, I'll head back home. Because that one sapling will set me on the path to making a village.
Oh.
What? Seems like a slow start to the but at least well, we can finally get back to our celebration of celebration of Thomas 75 with Journey Beyond Sodor. The way, though it's obvious one of us is though it's obvious the one that's usually responsible for the really good portion is a little busy right now.
No, don't worry. It wasn't exactly that complex. My idea. Hold on. Uh, wow. I want to clear the weather, but I'm being stalked by drowned. Anyway, it wasn't that complex, mind you. I don't remember half the names, but tell
You,
tell them something new. It's
you win some, you lose some.
it's obvious to anyone who's been watching. I'm no good with names. So anyway, the movies,
Yeah, I guess that's what.
the
Yeah,
movies.
I guess that's one good thing to note with Thomas for anyone who is for at least well, yeah, that's a good thing with this. I get with Thomas. I guess a lot of times a lot of times it doesn't need to be complex,
Yeah.
especially for these two apparently.
So anyway, the movie starts with okay, Thomas is all happy and he wants to break out in a song. Then James shows. It was James, right?
Yes.
Just double checking. James shows up and snipes his song slot. Thinking about how great he is and how he is number one. And he is the favorite.
We are number one.
And my God, James is annoying. It's like, and he keeps this up for a while. At times, I had to take my earbud out. Just it's like, ah, it was that aggravating.
Sadly, he is. Sadly, a lot of times he can be that kind of character.
Yeah. Then again, it does help you sympathize with Thomas.
Also, also, if you're a long-term follower and have picked up on something known as star pulling, it's a little fair given how Thomas is usually Thomas seems to be the center of attention. Thomas has been well for a long time mostly the center of attention.
True. That.
In fact, I went so far as to say, "Ooh, right in the star bills."
Yeah. But yeah, so Thomas is annoyed that James is getting all this attention. Yeah. So elsewhere, apparently there was a faulty Twitch single thing, and there was a crash, and I believe it was it Henry
Henry.
that was out of commission. So yeah, so there is this important shipment of goods that needs to be taken to the mainland. Well, okay, and Thomas says that he overhears it. Of course, he doesn't know it's important yet, or that's going to the mainland. Just that, oh, someone has to take care of Henry's stuff. Like so later, like Thomas is like, "Hey, James, you have to take this shipment." And James is like, "Oh, shipment? Oh, that shipment. The shipment of important goods to the mainland." And Thomas is like, "Crap. They want to do that."
large large 180 because you large 180 considering how a lot of times James often complains about goods work.
Yeah.
Apparently, the mainland is the thing to get him going at least.
Yeah. But yeah, it's so yeah, Thomas is annoyed at this. So he has an idea. The next day, James goes to pick up the cargo, and oh hey, Thomas got there first. Oops. What? Okay, now I won't be drowning. Okay, good. I can still access that. Yay! What to toss? What to toss? I can toss that. Take the iron. Actually, I don't need the second supply ship. So anyway, James goes to pick up his cargo. Oh, whoops! Thomas got up bright and early and got it instead. Oh well. now James has to take care of all of Thomas's work.
You can't win them all.
Yeah, James does not like this. Whatever, he has to deal with it. It's his punishment for being annoying. Anyway, so Thomas is off, and the cargo is also annoying.
The cars, to
It's
be
like,
precise.
hey, you're lost. The cars, yeah. It's like, oh, you're lost. You have no idea where you're going. Which, to be fair, is true. Thomas is he's never been to the mainland, and as such, is completely lost. Oops.
Slight oversight.
Yeah. Didn't exactly plan this through. But okay, he keeps going and going and going. I already have rutabaga, mulberry. Don't think I had mulberry. Recaps and crop management. Such exciting content.
Truly riveting.
Yeah, and I think I have cotton.
I think
Tons of cotton.
I think an appropriate phrase would be, it's been a while since he did something on the mainland.
Yeah.
Depending on the continuity you're following.
True. But yeah, it's like, yeah, he has no idea where he's going. And eventually he starts running low on coal. But he sees something and decides like, okay, there might be some people there that could help.
Okay.
And he pulls in and it's like, not much here, but oh. And he pulls in and there's a few engines there. They're kind of weird. Turns out they're experimental engines. Their names, I swear I remember the names up until like the climax of the movie.
Well, first off, in that first scene we have Lexi and Theo. Lexi is a early Camp 4 design, predating even the Southern Pacific engines, surprisingly. And Theo is a different interpretation of a railway track. Longtime viewers will definitely remember Fergus.
Right. But yeah, so they're there and they're wondering what Thomas is doing there. Like, it's like they're in the like, how should I put it? Where they are is like the place for rejected trains or engines or whatever. And like they're wondering what Thomas is doing there. It's like, oh, no, wait. I forget. Was this before or after the crane?
Oh. Wow.
I'm sorry, the crane.
Me.
You have to admit the crane had like aside from the one scene, a very not that big of a role in this whole thing. Also, the whole first part of the movie is like, oh no, Thomas is lost and is asking for directions.
The classic. Shouldn't his conductor being asking for questions?
I guess his introductory scene was a little. I guess his introductory scene wasn't too important. Too important.
Okay, the crane was first. Okay, rewinding a bit. So Thomas is going along, and all of a sudden, there's a boat on the track. Yeah, crane just up and dropped the boat down. Hey, new train coming by. Who are you? I don't know who you are. What's your deal? Tell me something new.
Any gossip?
And there's a whole song going on through it all. And it's like, it honestly kind of felt like they added this just to pad the time. But that's just me. But eventually, Thomas gets past by backing up and then going underneath, so he can't block the path.
Yeah.
Then he get it's to the village of rejected trains.
I think it was worth mentioning that Brothersford, as he is later called, it's worth mentioning as at least in how that happened. He was on he was on the gantry rolling back and forth, and naturally there's openings underneath.
Right. I don't know all these train yard terms, so he could take care of the technical details and names.
Gantries. Mattresses.
Yeah, where was it? Oh, right, the rejected train yard. Like, yes, like, okay, I need to bring I need to bring this cargo to the place. You know where it is? Nope, can't help you. Okay, bye.
Absolutely.
I'm sure we'll never see you again. Also, they mentioned a third engine, and that's there, a experimental stealth engine. Ooh.
He's a battle train.
Yeah.
There's an interesting related fact that I'll mention when we get to him. Also, another note: Brothersford is voiced by someone from the Chuggington series, and if you're actually willing to notice, there are some Chuggington-esque motions going about with the engines, which thankfully didn't get, which at this point wasn't distracting, but as time goes by, people start to see there's something strange going on, despite Brenner still being on the head and writing, and my guess my guess is that the marketing team is kind of beginning to show signs of grasp with starting in this movie.
Okay. Oh, it's sunset.
That's an evil laugh.
Okay. Gotta pick up more strings somewhere.
Maniacal laugh. Maniacal laugh.
So yes, essentially the it's the Spider-Man clone saga starting. The 90s Spider-Man clone saga isms are starting to show their face.
What do you mean?
In terms of how the marketing doesn't let the writers do their job.
Oh, right.
Oh my gosh.
White bed. Get your own bed.
Get your own bed. He's just sitting there, like, awkwardly watching.
But yeah, so Thomas goes along further, and right at the rejected train yard, he restocks on water and coal because he was all out. Now back to current events. Thomas finds this thing off the distance, like, ooh, it's a big building. And it's bright. And there's smoke, and it's like, ooh. So he goes there, and it's this huge place, and it's, yeah. And he meets these two engines, Hurricane and
Frankie.
uh, Frankie. And I knew the moment I saw them, oh, this is a trap. This
It's a
is
trap.
I do not trust these people.
Cold as it were.
And like
It,
this whole song number of
it unfortunately took me a while to say this, but reasoning might surprise. They might surprise. The end might. Their character motivations might surprise you a bit. Honestly,
yeah. Because honestly, the first time I saw this, I was basically like, fair enough. It's a real situation that always happens. But we'll get to that. True. Wood for days. And while I'm here,
A while for me to admit this, but second favorite song in the movie.
yeah. Jungle.
Because if I may be so controversial, I didn't feel as uncomfortable as Our Town.
Yeah. There's the bow. It's starting to build. Eventually.
Eventually.
Yeah, I found the mine colony is supply item, which is basically one of the first items to get started in mine colonies. definitely the rest of it will load. I'll get back to you later. Anyway. Oh yeah, so he gets in there and it's late at night. It's like, hey, chill for a while. You could worry about these these cargo cars tomorrow. It's like, stay a while. And it's like, okay. The morning comes and he gets woken up. It's like, hey, what's going on? Where's the cars? Oh yeah, we took care of it. Now you can help us. It's like, okay. And he helps for a while, and it's like, okay, it's getting. I helped a bit. I really need to go. I, what do you think you're doing? We still need some more help, but I need to. We helped you. You should help us. And this is where it starts to click. Like, yeah, this was a trap.
Again, with
Yeah, they don't plan on letting him leave.
again with reasonable 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 motivation. Again, it's a reasonable motivation.
Right. But yeah. So back on Sodor, everyone's wondering, okay, where's Thomas? Apparently the cars did get delivered, so they weren't just like shoved off into a dark corner somewhere, which is half of what I was expecting.
See, not as creepy as you would expect.
As I would expect.
But still, it's yeah. It's just a little but yeah, so James is like, hey, maybe I want to go to the mainland. I can help look for Thomas. And Sir Topham Hatt's like, no, I can't spare any engines. Do Thomas's job. James also complained and Thomas initially took the cars, but as far as Sir Topham Hatt was concerned, hey, a job's getting done. I don't care who does it. But yeah, so back at the place, they have Thomas working really hard, hauling what were they called? They're the big things that have the molten metal in them that gets tipped over to pour.
Molten
I'm sorry, I thought like the
once again, it's worth mentioning some of us are not exactly tech smart, but basically one of the jobs is the collecting slag and special dumping cars, pushing them towards the dumping site, and waiting for the loads to empty.
right. I'm just gonna call it the giant crucible because I'm familiar with like small scale melting down metals and stuff. So it's like, okay, it's like one of those crucible things, but big and on rails. But yeah, while he's dumping that, he sees a track on the lower area. It's like, okay, I have a plan. So he goes down that way and starts zooming past and doesn't get far because yeah, the rail just stops there. There is no rail down that way. Right, where was I? Right. So the hurricane and I forgot her name again.
Frankie.
Frankie.
Batman.
They have to come. They have to come get Thomas. It's like, I will escape one day.
I will.
But yeah, they lock up the gates, all locked up, but okay, nighttime. Hurricane and Frankie are asleep. Time to post ponies. Sorry.
Mods are asleep.
Yeah. But yeah, Thomas has an idea. Gonna slowly go, try to push the gate open. Okay, this ain't working. Push something a bit bigger into the gate. Push the gate open. Okay, not quite working yet. Okay, need more force. Crash!
So much for trying to be stealth.
Stealth train. Activate.
Thomas is not a stealth train. Nope. It's like, hey, what's going on? It's probably the thunder. Oh, hey, Thomas is trying to get him. But yeah, Thomas finally breaks through the gate and the chase is on. Thomas finds a junction. Was it a junction? Is that the part where you can go one way or the other?
Yes.
Basically, Thomas goes into a side route, and they completely lose him.
Boy.
And okay, this is where that stealth engine comes in because Thomas starts hearing a voice. It's Merlin, the stealth engine.
And
His whole stealth thing. Oh, right, we don't find out that feature yet. But yeah,
Spoiler.
apparently there was a special celebrity guest voice or something.
Yeah, I mentioned. Yeah, I mentioned that. Though. Yeah, I mentioned that during our watch. Although I. Somehow didn't bother to mention it until. Somehow didn't bother to mention it until late. Somehow didn't bother to mention it until now. But anyway, it's Hugh Bonneville.
Right. I have no idea who that is.
Well, I know he was in the Pennington movies.
Right. Control. Oh, I need redstone. Okay.
Yes. Good times.
Okay.
probably gotta go pretty soon. I gotta get up tomorrow.
Right.
Like,
Okay, gonna try to
5 more
speed it
minutes.
along.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thomas starts trying to head back, but as you know, he had no idea how he got here in the first place, so he's still a bit lost. And hold on, let me get to the video. That
Also, also Roland Spaces. Yes, also Roland Spaces. They briefly mentioned it, and you're kind of actually running the money kind of close on the money when it comes to, say, battle war type deal. But apparently the bases had an experimental piece on it that was meant to try and camouflage during one of the world wars. That was
yeah,
later removed.
right. But yeah, so Thomas finally gets back to the rejected train yard. And it's like, okay, got away from that place. Now I'm trying to get home. I don't remember where home was. You know where home was? No. Okay. And this is the point where they explain Merlin. I think it was a bit more in depth to it. But anyway, okay. So he gets back to that crane from earlier. It's like, okay, going by, don't see me, and he's picked me up. Yeah, crane didn't like being ditched earlier. And it's like, okay, that wasn't nice. Want to talk? Want to be friends? And Thomas like, you can't just make people stay and be your friend. You have to be nice to them. Now put me down. And Thomas starts getting lowered until he's. Oh, I should probably back up a bit. James went to the place where the cars were supposed to be delivered and were delivered. He asked around and found out that a hurricane brought the cars. It's like, okay, I think they met. I think they were talking for a bit. Long story short, James meets up with Hurricane. Like, hey, we know where Thomas is. Come with us. And Thomas sees them together. It's like, oh no, James is being led into a trap. Oh no, oh, they're gonna see me. Pull me up, pull me up. And it's like, fine, make up your mind. And he's hidden successfully. Like, okay, now I need to save James. Wait. He goes back to the rejected train yard. Like, okay, I need to stage a rescue mission. Okay, let's go. So they get to the place. So James is at the place. Like, they start doing the whole musical number, and James immediately is like, no. It's like, this place seems nice and all, but where's Thomas? Yeah, about that. You're not going anywhere. It's like, you have to give James this much. As annoying as he is, he does have some decent situational awareness. Like, he knew something was up just right then. So, the rescue mission. Thomas and new friends. Okay. Looking from afar. Okay. names again. The two that aren't Merlin. You guys, stay to distraction. I'll go in. Merlin, you keep watch. Like, okay. So they stay to distraction and draw out Hurricane and Frankie. And it's like, okay. Thomas sneaking in. It's like, okay, James. Like, hey, James, you need to get out of here. Er. Like, and it's taking too long, so Merlin starts like heading in, like see what's going on, and Hurricane and Frankie see it, it's like, he's trying to get in, and there's this whole chase going on, and stuff getting pushed all over the place, trying to stop everyone, and it's a whole mess, and eventually, what was it? Someone, no wait, right. So James gets free. Thomas gets caught by a magnet. It's saved at the last minute, and some some of the molten stuff gets knocked over, and Thomas is saved by Hurricane. Like, oh no, I'm melting, and it's like, okay, he gets pushed out of the way by
Merlin.
one of the Merlin. Yes. Like, okay, yay, saved, but still damaged. Boo. It's like, why? We just wanted some help. We are severely overworked. I don't know. Have you thought about maybe asking? Instead of trapping in lost engines as your slaves? Like, God, what is wrong with you people? Anyway,
They did
but
say
yeah, it's like,
they did say others were, so that's
yeah,
fair enough.
it's, but still, it's, but like Thomas, like, hey, I know a few engines that could help. Points to the points to the well, not points, but like, hey, the rejects over there. They have nothing better to do. It's like, we could try. But yeah, now Thomas and James can go free back to Sodor, and let's not compete for now.
And my
And
favorite
everything's all happy.
song starts.
Yeah, this one had a lot of songs. It's like, again, and part of this thing felt like padding.
I dare say ponies had some padding songs, and yet those are somehow still being sung.
But yeah, so that was the thing. Honestly, so far I think my favorite is still the what was it called? The Great Discovery or whatever it was.
Sounds about fair.
Oh, yeah, we should wrap this up. I just got my battery low notification on my earbud. Because it's like Thomas had a whole character arc going into that. It's like, or it's just like, hey, I want to go to a place. Oh no, I'm lost. Oh no, I'm being trapped. And it didn't really, aside from like, yeah, mainline's not that great anyway. Didn't feel like there was that much growth, you know?
Yeah.
Nate,
Mm.
do you have any thoughts?
Eh, really. I did kind of have a live announcement later on. Like if the end once we're done.
Another bites the dust.
But yeah, as soon as I get some redstone, I can put in a drawer controller so I can automatically sort all this stuff.
Uh,
So it sounds like one of us has a bit
But
of
yeah, it was okay.
is there-
Okay, just gonna clean up this mess. It's obviously it's not spawning in.
So Nate, sounds like you
And
had
just
something.
Yeah, a bit of an announcement. I'm probably going to have to kind of slowly move away from the podcast. I've been
Ew.
getting more and more busy. Yeah, I've been getting more and more busy. Um, I might change jobs eventually, and I don't know. It's been taking a lot of time to do the podcast on Saturdays. A lot of times, or just in general, I can't always be here. I got places to be with friends and lots of like prior commitments sometimes, and it's kind of annoying to have just to bring with my setup and stuff like that every weekend to places I have to go.
right.
I don't know. I've kind of let down a lot of people over the past month or so. With people are like, "Oh, we got it. We can do Saturday. We can do Saturday night," and they're like, "Oh, well, I have the podcast," and they're like, "Oh, yeah, yeah." So I don't know. It's not that I can never do it again. It's just I probably can't commit to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I could be a guest star every once in a while, but I just can't be constantly relied on to do it every weekend.
Well,
So.
chances are that when the crisis starts calming down, things may change a bit.
I might get more busy, yeah. I don't know. It might get even worse. I might go back to school. Yeah, it's just getting more and more complicated.
Right.
I knew it was kind of going to happen eventually, but I don't know. I guess I just kind of wanted to warn it. I don't know how many more I can do reliably. I'll still probably go to the conventions, or I'll try to go to some of them. And yeah, if there's like some big events or something, maybe if My Little Pony comes back eventually, maybe I'll show up for like one of those episodes or a few of those. But at the moment, there's not really the show to cover. It's just kind of been jumping all around. I don't know. Nothing again. You guys can keep going without me. You guys seem to do fine
Right.
without me. You guys probably can find somebody else, I'm sure, if you still need to. You get guest stars on pretty often, and with me gone, with me gone, you guys can also temper the podcast to more. Because you guys started the podcast so late because of me being, having to wait for me to get home. So if you guys want to do the podcast, you guys can do it more often and at a more normal time, if you know what I mean. I'm kind of usually the one holding you guys back because I get home late and stuff. So you guys can start, if I'm gone, you guys can do a more regular streaming schedule, probably more frequently, and, about more topics, you know what I mean?
Well, this case was not your fault. Someone's still sadly a bit new to this whole server thing.
And it's not that, it's just in general. That's not...
I think it's safe to say you won't be available sometime tomorrow night.
Probably not. Yeah, it's just in that too where I've been having to push stuff around for that. So yeah, I don't know. It's I can probably pop in every once in a while, but I can't guarantee when and where. It'll probably be if I can handle, if I can do it, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'll have to initiate it. I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm free that weekend, or I don't know. It just opens stuff up, and you guys, again, yeah, as you guys can do, I might try to join the servers, and if you're doing games, maybe I'll play on some of those. But a lot of times it's just, and also the stuff you're covering, it's just not my forte. And you guys can do games now that I don't have. You know what I mean? You guys do Final Fantasy and stuff, and you got all that other things that I have no clue how to do.
Well,
I'm kind of also, I just kind of felt like I was holding you guys back in some ways.
well, in terms of things being covered, it's kind of vary from this point outward Sometimes it'll be, say, Gravity Falls. Other times there'll be something.
Hold on. battery just died.
Did you switch the speakers yet? Shoot.
Nice. Am I back?
You back?
Okay, my sound's back.
As I was saying, it kind of as I was saying, things are going to vary. As I was saying, content's going to vary from
Hold
this.
on. Be right back. Okay, better. That should work now.
As I was saying, content's going to vary from this. As I was saying, content's going to vary. As I was saying, content's going to vary for this part, but sometimes there'll be something you recognize, like Gravity Falls. Sometimes there'll be stuff only I seem to have decent knowledge of.
Right. But yeah.
All right.
So yeah, that'll be something to try to. So yeah, that'll be something interesting to try to just to. I guess with that, reactions will stay on hold, and regardless of which one of us are present, we will finish up the Tom 75 celebrations next week with the one of the newer kids on the block, the Royal Engine. And from the reactions I saw, there's been a good reaction. It's been pretty good. So that'll be something to look forward to.
Yeah.
So until then, regardless of how many of it, so until then, regardless of regardless of persons present, stay safe, stay well. See you next week. Take care.
Later.
This is Yoda Soda.